Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I am jumping back on for your midweek motivation. And today's topic is don't let fear of failure keep you from success. Hey, Harrison. Yes, it is new hair. It is hot where we are at. So it's time to bring out the shortcuts. I am going to give you 3 ways you can beat failure, the fear of failure, so that you can um, actually succeed. Okay, because I think, and this is just not for your business. This is also in life. You know, we are so afraid of everything that's around us that we actually don't we suck the life out of ourselves. We're drained because we can't do anything because we are fearing that we're going to fail at something. So these tips will also help you, and if you don't have a business, these tips will also help you in your life. So, welcome back to Midweek Motivation. I am Olivia B. Shepherd. I am your transformation coach and biz coach. Well, transformation and biz coach. So, let's get started. Now, most of my clients come to me. One of their number one topics is they're too afraid to do something. Okay. They don't want to put their book out. They don't want to put the podcast out. They don't want to put their products out. They don't want to do something because they are afraid that they're going to fail at what they're going to do. Whereas with me, I could care less. Like, I'll just go for it. Now, don't get me wrong that I don't believe that I could fail. Yes, I do think that I can fail. And there are times when I have failed several hundreds of times. But I continue to keep on going and I keep on doing what I need to do. I, of course, have, y'all know that I walk my little pup at the park. And at the park where I go to, it's a tennis court. And when you're going around the tennis court, but in the middle of the tennis court, there's like this big old bush of a forest that's there. So in order for you to get around to the other side of the tennis court, you have to go, you have to like not see what's on the other side. Now, remember, I'm at the park. I'm there in the mornings when it's really, really early. So all of the deer are out, the fox are out, whatever else is out there, that's what's out there. But I'm going early in the morning. So usually the only people that are there are me and the park rangers. And then sometimes some of the walkers, some of the morning walkers that are out there early in the mornings as well. Now, this is during daylight savings, so of course the sun is up 6:00, 6:15 now. Now, everybody who knows me knows that I am terrified of all things forest. I am terrified of all things animals. I am terrified of all things nature. Okay. But I constantly stay in nature. Like, I constantly go walking. I constantly am out there walking my pup, but I'm also constantly afraid of all things nature. Now, we got a text message from one of our next door apps, the app that tells you all the things that are going on with your neighbors or whatever. And they sent a picture out about this homeless looking fox. Okay. So they told me exactly where the fox is at, which is really close to where I have to walk. Okay. So he looks homeless. He looks like he hasn't been eating in days. I am terrified because I don't know where he's at, but guess what? He might, because I'm thinking he's going to eat my pup. Well, anyway, long story short, when I'm walking on the left side of the park, I have to get around to the opposite side, but I can't see anything. So the whole entire time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have psyched myself up to believe that the killer fox is on the other side of that walkway. The deer are going to meet me there and they're going to all just ambush me. Even though one of my friends told me that deers don't like to bother people, that is such a lie. Okay, I don't care. They bother people. I also don't know if there's some deranged park man that is sitting in the woods over there on that other side that is just waiting, has been stalking me for the last month or so. I mean, these are all of the things that are going through my mind because I don't see what's on the other side of that particular forest. I don't see it. I can't see it. So now my whole entire day is just like screwed up because now I have to walk around this to the other side. Now, do you see where I'm going with this? I don't know what's on the other side of that forest. I don't. But now I've ruined my entire walk because I cannot actually get to the other side. So I've ruined my whole entire my walk, before I even get there. Now I'm walking, I'm fearing. I have all these things going through my mind. I've psyched myself up that these things are going to happen, that it's going to kill me, something is going to kill me. And once I get to halfway around that side, I see nothing. Now I do see the family of deer, but they're all to the opposite side. I don't see the killer fox. I don't see the killer man. I don't see anything. But that entire time, I have psyched myself up and I have not enjoyed that little bit of the walk because I was so fearing what was on the other side. Much like us in success, much like us in life. We have a fear that everything is going to happen. Things are going to happen. I don't care what it is. Something is going to happen on the other side of what you're trying to do. You're thinking this. You've psyched yourself up. If I write this book, nobody is going to buy this book. If I release this podcast, nobody is going to listen to my podcast. I want to start a business. I want to get a new job. I want to break up with this person. I want to do all of these things, but because you fear failure at whatever you're going to do, you don't do it. Now you have literally ruined what you have written down. Because all of us, before we start businesses, we write down everything that we're going to do. We write down how this is going to happen. We are psyched up. We're so excited. We're going to break up with this person. We're going to end this toxic relationship. We're going to do all of these things. But then you're so afraid of what's going to happen. You're afraid of failure. And much like me walking around to that other side of that forest, nothing's actually going to happen. Nothing is there waiting on me. There was no killer fox. There was no killer anybody. I ruined my entire walk by thinking something was going to happen. Much like us. We fear that we can't do anything because we are going to fail at it. And of course you're going to fail. That's just a part of life. You're going to fail at something. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I said this on Monday that I have done, what did I tell you? When I started my t-shirt business, I must have thrown away 450 shirts before I actually got the right shirt and perfected it. And then there's days that I still have times when I fail at launching, a podcast. Maybe I didn't do the podcast right. Or there are days when I have decided that, I'm sleepy, so something doesn't come out right for me. But I don't fear the failure part of it. I don't see that as a failure. I just see it as a chance to say, you know what? I'm going to take this lesson and I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to keep going. And that's what you all have to do. You all have decided that, you know what? We're just not going to do it. But then I get those clients that tell me, well, I really can't afford to get a website. Well, you really can't afford to get a website because you really don't want to put your products out there because you're too afraid of your stuff. So you don't have the money that you wish you could have because you're too afraid to make the money. You're too afraid of failure. How are you going to quit your 9 to 5 if you are too afraid to put your products out there? How are you going to say that I am going to sell my coaching services if you are too afraid to put yourself out there? We have psyched ourselves up that the only way we can do anything in life, this little thing is getting on my nerve. The only thing that we can do, everything that we do in life has to be perfect. Nothing in life is perfect. Okay, your website doesn't have to be perfect when you first start off. Your book doesn't have to be perfect. Your first live doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect when you start out, and it's keeping you from your success. The fear of being alone. You don't want to end your relationships with toxic people because you fear being alone, and it's keeping you from your success of trying to live a normal, decent life because you fear failure. I told you all that things were going, kind of crazy in my marriage, because I'm very transparent, I'm very honest about this. And I'm not going to lie, for a hot second, I haven't been alone for 16 years. And I was like, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to be able to be a divorced woman? How am I going to be able to go to bed at night without the security of having a man in my household? How am I going to be able to do this? I psyched myself up that I was not going to be able to live alone, that I was not going to be able to live without this person. But then I started looking around that there are tons of women who are divorced every day, and they are leading beautiful lives. But because I feared the failure of telling people and that was another thing. That's another reason why we don't do a lot of things, because we don't like to hear people say, I told you so, or we don't like to say, well, I ended my marriage. Okay. Well, guess what? All marriages don't last. 16 years might be the cutoff point. It might be the cutoff point. So I no longer fear that I might have to be a divorced woman. I don't fear that anymore, because there are tons of women that are out here that are straight doing it as a divorcee. Okay? So stop fearing failure, because it's keeping you and it's hindering you from your success. So I'm going to give you 3 ways you can beat that. Okay? Number 1, take small steps. Take small steps. Even with me in my marriage, I am going to actually have to take small steps of trying to learn how to live alone. I don't want to, but maybe that's what I need to learn how to do. Now, I'm not actually wishing this on me, and nothing has actually happened. There's nothing in the works right now. But I'm just saying, I'm just giving you something I was feeling at the time. Of why I didn't want to, split from my husband. But take small steps. If you want to start a podcast, take small steps. Start speaking live, going live. Start talking to your friends. Go on Zoom calls. Okay? Take baby steps, right? Okay? You can do this. This is how you'll beat your fear. Because you can take small steps. Just take it one step at a time. I will be able to go live, because I'm setting myself up, because I'm going to eventually do a podcast. You want to write a book? Well, start going on your social media page and writing in the passages that you have in your book. Start releasing them on social media. Start doing that. See, look at get the reaction, get the feedback from people. Take small steps. This will help you beat your fear. Now, I just personally jump into things. You know what? I've been talked about and picked on and ridiculed all my life. I don't even give a damn about what people think about me anymore. There are going to be people that's going to say, well, we know what? We didn't like the background, or her lighting was too dark. I don't care. I just do it. Okay? Number 2, realize that you are not alone. You are not the first person to do anything. Okay? Stop acting like it. You are not alone. If you want to do a live and you're afraid to do a live, you think that I wasn't afraid to go live? Yeah, it seems kind of natural to me now, because I talk all the time. I constantly talk. You know what? I am not going to be able to do this all day with the stupid hair, even though I am loving my new shortcut, but this is worrying me. So y'all excuse me if I'm constantly doing this. It's because I can't see. You're not alone. You are not alone if you start a t-shirt business. You are not alone if you start a podcast. You are not alone if you write a book. I mean, come on. There are millions and trillions of people who write books every single day. You think Dr. Seuss wasn't afraid when he first probably wrote his first book? You are not the first person to become a life coach or a wellness coach or whatever you decide to do. You are not alone. So you can knock your fear out right there just because you know now that everybody in the world has done this at one point of their time in their life. So you can now say, you know what, I am going to go for this. I'm not alone. And guess what? While you're thinking that you're not alone, also ask for help. Y'all kill me when y'all want to do things. Y'all secretly sitting behind the scenes trying to do stuff, but y'all don't want to ask nobody. You hate asking people for help. Okay. Yeah, you're not supposed to tell everybody your little dreams and your little goals. But guess what? Y'all surrounded around the wrong people. That's why you can't tell people what you're doing, because you're surrounded around the wrong people. That's a whole nother topic. So check your circle. But remember, you're not alone. And last but not least, learn along the way. I had to learn along the way. When I was doing my t-shirt business, like I told you, when I started the t-shirt business, now I didn't even know I was going to start a t-shirt business. I just wanted to start t-shirts, do the t-shirts because I like wearing t-shirts. I like the sayings. I love it. So I wanted to do it. Plus, I love starting businesses. Okay. So I was learning along the way. Remember on Monday, I told y'all I called my friend. Every time I just called my friend the other day about some stuff because I'm doing supplementation now. She's the supplementation queen. She's really good at what she does. I called her and I said, hey, boo, I need help with doing this. She told me what I needed to do. I'm learning along the way. You think when I first started my podcast that it was like all of that? Go back and listen to my first episodes of my podcast. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't even have the right microphone. I learned along the way. When I did my first live, I used to be slathered in makeup. I used to be like, all glamorous. Go back and look at some of my YouTube videos from the beginning. I used to be so beautiful. Oh, I'm glammed up. And I was just like, oh my gosh, look, I got to be perfect to be on live. I have to have the perfect background. Do you see me now? I learned along the way. I beat my fears. I didn't care about failing anymore. I didn't care if my broadcast was too dark. I didn't care as long as my message got out. I didn't care about that stuff anymore. I remember telling the story too to one of the ladies that I used to do Clubhouse with about and a lot of the ladies still come to me and say, well, we don't want to go live. We're so afraid to go live. And I remember a lady that went live. And it worried me so bad because behind her, she was doing her live and she had a washcloth hanging off the back of her door. Now I'm OCD and I can't, stuff like that drives me nuts. But she had a very good message. So I kind of like blocked out that washcloth that was sitting behind her, even though I saw it, but I didn't see it because her message was good. And apparently she didn't even care that she literally had the door open with the washcloth hanging behind her, but she got her message out. She didn't care. Now I'm pretty sure now she has gone back and she probably heard my live too. I don't know, but she probably went back now and saw all of those messages and looked at her stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, I had that washcloth hanging out there. I didn't mean to do that. But guess what? She probably learned along the way. And you can do that. It is okay. You are not an expert in everything you do. I was a housekeeper I owned a housekeeping service for 20 years. But before then, I was cleaning. But when I thought I was the world's best cleaner, there would be days that I would go to homes and I would get feedback from somebody that's saying, well, we didn't think that this was clean enough, or we don't think that you cleaned that. I walked away thinking I was a champ. I did that. And guess what? Somebody wasn't happy with my cleaning. But I learned along the way. I think I told you all this in another live last week where I told you, or the week before last, where I told you I learned how to do marble counters and granite. I never ever had granite tops in my house before when I first started my business. I had to learn how to clean those. I became an expert at it along the way. So you can learn along the way. That'll help you with your fear. Because remember, you are not the only person that's doing this. You're not the only person that has had to get rid of toxic people. You are not the first person who has had to get rid of a job. You are not the first person who is trying to step their toes into the business world. You're not the first person. But don't let the fear of failure keep you from your success. Because what happens is you're sitting there, and then you all know that this happens all the freaking time. Your ideas, even though you have not told anybody, you've written them down, then you get up one morning and you're on social media and somebody else has done your thing. And then what the hell are you sitting there doing? Like, I could do this. I could have did this. I could have did that. I'm good at that. Well, guess what? That person decided, I'm not going to fear my fear. I'm going to fight my fear and I'm going to do it. While you're still sitting over there contemplating, overthinking about what you're about to do. That person did exactly what you wanted to. It has happened to me dozens of times. I had an idea about something and I get up the next day or that night and somebody else has done it. Because I waited too long, trying to overthink it and fearing that it wasn't going to be right when I did it. You can't do that. It is keeping you from your success, period. So don't let the fear of failure continue to keep you from making the money you want to make, making the moves you want to make in your life. Failure will happen. You are not in control of that. Who are you? You are not God. You are not in control of what's going to happen in your life. You might start your first podcast and record the entire thing, and I've done this before, and it sounds like crap. Now, you've put it out there, and it sounds like crap. Now you got to re-record, or you got a crappy podcast. You've done a whole entire live, I've done this, where nobody can hear a damn thing I said because of technology. I don't run technology. I don't run Facebook. I didn't anticipate that happening. But I didn't stop doing my live. I kept going. I didn't know that Facebook was having some audio issues that day. I kept going. So stop letting the fear of failure keep you from your success. You're sitting on your dreams. You're sitting on your goals. You're sitting on your money. All because you're too afraid of failing. When failing, I know we hear this thing where failure is not an option. Well, technically it is. Technically it is. You can't help what's going to happen. I can't help what's going to happen. But you can keep going anyway. So I'm going to go back over the 3 points to beat fear. 1, take small steps. You don't have to go full force like I do. I just have that personality. That's just who I am. I just go and I just wing it. That's just who I am. Okay? And if you're not the person that wings it, then take the small steps. Start saying to yourself, I want to do this, but I'm going to do it small. I'm going to take these little baby steps, but I am going to do it. It'll help you with your fear. 2, realize you're not alone. You are never alone when you're trying to start something. You are not the first person in the world trying to start a business. You are not the first person in the world that is going to get divorced. You are not the first person in the world that is going to start a podcast, start a t-shirt business. You're not the first person in the world to do any of that. You're just not. So you're not alone. So that should help you with your fear, because every one of us started from the bottom. Every one of us has started scared. I don't care what people tell you all on social media. They started scared. They started scared. They probably re-recorded 1,500 times. I don't care what they're telling you. And no, they're not telling you that. They did it scared. They had to re-record 150 times. They had to throw away t-shirts thousands of times. I'm pretty sure most top designers had to throw away dresses. Most painters, the color didn't come in good. Believe me, you are not alone. Okay? You are not alone. And 3, learn along the way. It is okay to learn about what you're doing along the way. There is nothing wrong with learning. You get smarter by learning. Okay? When I first started out doing my my YouTube channel, there were a lot of things that I didn't know, but I learned along the way. When I first started doing my podcast, there were a lot of things that I didn't know, but I learned along the way. Same thing here with my t-shirt business, along with my cleaning business. I learned along the way. It doesn't make you less than, it doesn't make you a failure, because you're learning. You are not the first person to have to learn along the way. Nobody goes into anything 100% and knowing how to do something. It's just not happening. And I don't care what nobody tells you, it's just not happening. They are not jumping in, doing it perfect the first time. There's no way. And once you get past that, you'll be on your way. Failure will happen. And sometimes you need to fail in order to learn. It is okay. It is okay. I am still learning about, I just started my coaching business, about 2 years ago? I am learning along the way. I'm still learning how to do email marketing. I'm still learning how to do lives. Monday I told you I did my first TikTok. I'm going to be learning reels. I know I have no desire to do it in the pointing. I have no desire to do any of that. But I'm learning some of the new things that I need to learn in order to be successful. And you all are going to have to do that as well. Okay? So that's it. I apologize for moving the bang out of my head all day, because it's kind of driving me nuts. I like the new hairstyle, but that whole little thingy is driving me crazy. But y'all got the message, right? Don't let fear of failure keep you from your success. All right? So I'll see you all back here on Friday. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Y'all know how I roll. I let the universe just kind of come to me, because that's just who I am. Again, because guess what? I don't care about failing. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me if nobody likes my message. Doesn't bother me that nobody likes my lighting. Doesn't bother me that nobody likes my background. It just doesn't bother me. It won't even bother me that nobody likes my new short hair. Doesn't bother me, because I don't fear failure. I don't fear other people's opinions. I just don't care. I've had my share of people not agreeing with me. I've had my share of people not liking things that I've done. I've had my share, but I'm too old to worry about that stuff anymore. I also know that opinions don't pay bills. And once you all start to realize that, then you all will definitely won't let fear stop you, because opinions do not pay bills. It just doesn't. Try paying your credit card bill or your mortgage with other people's opinions. Y'all have heard that before. So I don't care. I just do me. You need to do you and let it work for you. Okay? So have a great rest of the Wednesday. Have a great rest of the evening, to the point where you are sitting down saying, you know what? I am going to take Lady O's advice, and I'm going to go out here and I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Today is going to be the day that I do it. Because remember, you're not alone. You won't be the first person doing whatever you are deciding to do. You can perfect it along the way. Done is better than perfect. Period. And any given day, done is better than perfect. All right. So have a great, great, great rest of the day. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Harrison, as always, too. I can't really see who else is on here. Y'all know I don't have my glasses on. So thank you all for tuning in anyway. I'll see you all on Friday. Remember, don't let fear of failure keep you from your success. All right? Bye.